I, 40M, don't even know how to start this. My wife Sarah, 40F, and I have known each other for over 20 years and have been married for 18 years. We have 17-year-old twins, a boy and a girl. 2 days ago, my entire world collapsed. My kids got those ancestry DNA tests for Christmas, you know, the fun ones where you find out you're 2% Scandinavian or whatever. We all did them as a family thing. The results came back and I'm not their father. Some background. Sarah and I met as co-workers right out of college. We were both hungry and ambitious, and after a couple years of working for someone else, we decided to start our own business together. We fell hard for each other during that time. A year after launching the business, we got married. A couple of months into our marriage, we had this massive blowout fight about the direction of the company. It was bad. I'm talking screaming, doors slamming, the whole 9 yards. I left and stayed with a friend for about 2 weeks. Sarah came to me after that, and we talked it through and compromised. After that, we were inseparable. She got pregnant right around that time with the twins. For nearly 2 decades, we've been an unshakable team. Our business went through hell multiple times, nearly went bankrupt twice, lost major clients, had partners screw us over, but we weathered every storm together. She was my person. My rock. I trusted her with everything, my heart, my business, my life. What she told me. Sarah has been crying non-stop since we found out. She finally told me what happened. During those 2 weeks when I left after our fight, she went out drinking with some friends one night. She got wasted and slept with some random guy at a bar. She swears it was only that one time. She swears she never cheated before or since. She said she didn't know the twins weren't mine. She said she convinced herself they had to be mine because we'd been having sex regularly and the timeline could have worked. Where I'm at now. I told her I needed space and I've been at a hotel for 2 days. I haven't eaten today. I feel like I'm moving through water. Everything is muffled and distant. I love my kids. They are my kids, biology be damned. I raised them. I'm their dad. That doesn't change. But I don't know if I can look at Sarah the same way ever again. Sarah keeps calling. She wants to talk. She wants to fix this. My kids don't know yet. They just think the test was wrong or contaminated or something. Reddit, I'm just lost. How do you move forward from something like this? Update 1, 3 days later. I can't believe I'm updating this so soon, but holy shit. Holy shit. So I finally agreed to meet with Sarah yesterday at a coffee shop to talk. I needed answers. I needed to understand how she could keep this from me for 17 years. She was a mess. Kept apologizing, saying she'd do anything. Then I asked her point blank, did you really not know? For 17 years, you never suspected? That's when she broke down completely. And the truth came out. She knew. She found out when the twins were 3 years old. She had taken them to the pediatrician for a routine checkup, and there was some blood type thing that didn't add up. The doctor casually mentioned it, and Sarah freaked out and got a paternity test done in secret. She's known for 14 years that they weren't mine. I stood up and walked out. I couldn't even look at her. That's not a drunken mistake. That's not uncertainty. That's a 14-year lie. Every single day, she looked me in the face and lied. Update 2, 5 days later. My kids know now. I had to tell them because Kelly was spiraling and I was worried she'd blurt it out in some terrible way. My daughter Emma took it hard. She's not talking to Sarah at all. She feels betrayed that her whole life has been a lie. My son Jake is weirdly quiet about it, which worries me more than anger would. But here's where it gets worse. My business partner, who I trust completely, helped me start going through our company finances because if Sarah lied about this, what else has she lied about? We have a successful company worth several $1 million now. We found irregularities. Lots of them. Sarah has been skimming money from the business for years. Not huge amounts that would be noticed immediately, but steady amounts. We're talking about $400,000 plus over the past 6 years that's been redirected to an account I didn't know about. I confronted her. She claimed she was setting it aside as security in case I ever found out about the twins and left her. She said she was terrified of losing everything. I've contacted a lawyer. Both for divorce and for the business. Update 3, 1 week later. Jesus Christ, it keeps getting worse. So the account Sarah was putting money into. I got access to the bank records. The money isn't there anymore. Most of it was withdrawn in cash over the past 3 months. When I confronted her, she finally admitted she has a gambling problem. Started 5 years ago with online poker, then escalated to going to casinos. She's been hiding it the entire time. The $400,000? Gone. She's in debt to some very bad people for another $150,000. This is why she's been so desperate to keep me around. Not because she loves me, or maybe she does, who the hell knows anymore, but because she needs me to help pay off her debts and keep her safe. I'm reeling. The woman I thought I knew doesn't exist. Update 4, 10 days later. My kids and I did our own DNA tests through a different company to be 100% sure, and also to see if we could find their biological father through the family matching feature. We found him. His name is Marcus. He lives 2 towns over. He's married with 3 kids of his own. And here's the kicker, he owns the company that's been our biggest competitor for the past 10 years. I know Marcus. We've been at the same industry conferences. We've competed for the same contracts. We've had tense negotiations. He smiled to my face knowing the whole time that my kids were biologically his. I reached out to him. We're meeting tomorrow. I don't even know what I'm going to say. Update 5, 11 days later. I met with Marcus today. I brought my lawyer. Turns out, Marcus had no idea. He was just as shocked as I was. The hookup with Sarah was before he got married. He said he vaguely remembered her from that night at the bar but never got her name or details. When he saw Sarah at industry events over the years with me, he didn't make the connection because it had been so long and he'd been drunk that night too. But here's where my mind exploded, Sarah knew who he was. She figured it out about 8 years ago when Marcus's company became our competitor and she saw him at a conference. She knew the entire time we were competing with him. Marcus is devastated. His wife is furious at him for the ancient hookup, even though he was single at the time. His kids are confused. My kids are traumatized. This has blown up 2 entire families. Marcus wants to get to know the twins, but he's leaving it completely up to them. He seems like a decent guy who got caught up in Sarah's nightmare. Update 6, 2 weeks later. Sarah's parents called me. They want to pay off her gambling debts and get her into rehab. They had no idea about any of this, not the paternity, not the gambling, nothing. They're horrified. They're also offering to buy out Sarah's share of the business so I can have full control and she can get the money she needs to pay off her debts without putting the company at risk. My lawyer is drawing up the papers. Emma has agreed to meet Marcus for coffee. Jake is still refusing. I told them both I support whatever they decide. Marcus's wife has surprisingly been very kind through all this. She reached out to me directly to apologize for the chaos, even though none of this is her fault. Update 7, 3 weeks later. The divorce papers are filed. Sarah is in a residential treatment facility for gambling addiction. Her parents bought her out of the business for a fair price, and that money is being held in a trust to pay her debts and her treatment costs. Emma and Marcus have been texting and they met up twice. She says it's weird but he's nice. Jake still won't talk to him, and I'm not pushing it. I'm in therapy now. Trying to process 18 years of my life being built on lies. The craziest thing? I found out through Marcus that Sarah tried to reach out to him 5 years ago through LinkedIn with a vague message. He ignored it because he thought it was spam. She was apparently trying to tell him back then but lost her nerve. Final update, 1 month later. I'm doing okay. Some days are better than others. The business is actually thriving now that I have full control. Turns out Sarah's security withdrawals were affecting our growth more than I realized. Emma is building a relationship with Marcus and his family. She even met her biological half-siblings last weekend and said it went well. Jake is talking to a therapist and says he might be ready to meet Marcus in a few months. I told him there's no rush. Sarah completed her 30-day program and is now in outpatient treatment. Her parents say she's doing better. We've had zero contact except through lawyers. I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive her, but I'm trying to let go of the anger for my own sake. The twins turn 18 in 4 months. Despite everything, they're good kids. Strong kids. They're handling this better than I am. As for me, I'm focusing on the business, my kids, and therapy. I started dating again, nothing serious, just coffee dates. Life is slowly starting to feel real again. I never thought my life would implode like this, but I'm rebuilding. One day at a time. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. I couldn't have gotten through this without you. Edit, to everyone asking about the gambling debts, yes, I verified everything with her parents and the lawyer before agreeing to anything. The debts are real and very dangerous. I'm not just taking Sarah's word for it. Edit 2, no, I don't think Sarah and Marcus planned any of this. He's been nothing but straightforward and honest. His shock was genuine. Some people are just caught in the blast radius of other people's choices. Edit 3, for those asking about my friend I stayed with during the separation 18 years ago, we're still close. He's been my rock through all this. Good friends are everything.